Good evening, Romies. It's your man, Rome himself, here with a very special video today. So with KOF98 Unlimited Match Final Edition receiving a rollback update, I've been super hyped, and I've also been showing off a lot of cool combos and tech over on my Twitter page for those that have seen it, you know, just to get ready and get myself in shape basically for the big release, which is coming out tomorrow. But I've also been receiving a ton of messages from a few players asking about how the combos work, how the system works, right? So I figured, hey, instead of just giving you guys a visual of some of the combos and things that I've been posting, how about I give a little audio with it? That way it can help bring in familiar faces, right? As far as KOF players who may not necessarily play this version of KOF, but others, but also for the newer players, right? The people that will be trying out this game, the people that will be trying out King of Fighters 15. So just sit back, relax. We're going to go through these two very few subsystems in KOF98 Final Edition and how they are similar and yet how they are also different. So first up is the Advanced mode. Now, Advanced mode is your very tame, very familiar, very normal King of Fighters subsystem. And what I mean by that is like this version here, Advanced, it's usually an majority, I should say, of the King of Fighters titles, sans some of the NES Saga games. But in the even in the more modern KOF games like 14 and even upcoming 15, it uses this base meter system here, where you have 3 bars for your point, 4 for your mid, and 5 for your anchor. And if you've played CVS2, for the Capcom fans that are coming to try out this game and or KOF 15, if you played CVS2, it's basically end groove. It's the same function as end groove. So in Advanced mode, you have access to run, you have access to roll back or forward. So you can roll back, you can roll forward, and basically what that does is have you have envol towards certain moves. Throws will still work, but you can get through fireballs and normals by rolling at the right time. Obviously, that's something that you want to use to your discretion, because smart players will blow it up. But yeah, that's to help you get out of trouble. Also, the way the bar works is you have, once you have a full stock of meter that you can generate either from building meter yourself from throwing fireballs or attacks that are blocked or hit by your opponent, or when you take damage from your opponent, it builds meter. So like I've mentioned before, your standard desperation move, aka your super, is always level 1. Now the max mode in this game, for this mode, Advance, gives you a 25% damage increase. Not only does it do that, it turns all of your desperation moves into super desperation moves, or aka max supers. So think of it as like a level 3 super in another game, whereas your regular DM is like your level 1 or level 2 depending. And that's the offensive capabilities of Advanced mode. Note that you can use it for things like guard cancel roll when you're on a defensive, which is an action where your opponent hits you while you're blocking. You can use 1 stock of your bar to push them away with the guard cancel blowback, or roll away like this for yourself, basically, to get away from safety. The only issue is that it's a little hard to do on these older games because the training mode isn't as robust as more modern games. But yeah, we're just focusing more on the offensive capabilities of the Advanced mode and soon the extra mode. But as I was saying, yes, that is the basic functionality of the Advanced mode. Like I mentioned before, it's very familiar, it's very tame. It's in majority of the King of Fighters titles. So if you've played other ones before, or if you're new to KOF and you're going to be learning, get more familiar with this one, because you will see this in a lot of games. Again, just knowing when to use your max, you activate it, you have that long bar, you get that little extra damage boost. Definitely helps for characters like Ralph, because, you know, we hurt. And now we see the super explosive, super cool extra mode, which in King of Fighters 98 Final Edition is one of the more creative modes, I will say. It is definitely something that has seen an update in this game. versus the more classic King of Fighters 98, where it's had its quirks, but not nearly at the point it does now. So in some ways, extra mode is more of like the opposite of advanced, and where in advanced mode, you have a run, while in extra mode, you have a dash. The one trade-off is that in extra mode, your walk animation, your walk speed, excuse me, is actually faster. In advanced mode, you have access to rolling forward or back. In extra mode, however, you have the sidestep. Very similar in functionality. The only difference is that you're more maintained. You're stayed in place. You're not moving at all. So in some situations, it can be better to use this over a roll, because rolling will get you away. It will create a bit of space. But maintaining your spot here means that you don't have to give up any space. So if someone throws a fireball and you sidestep through it, you're not losing any space if you're trying to advance on them. The only thing is, it can make it easier to throw you because you're not moving anywhere. Whereas if you're rolling backwards, you know, you're out of the way sometimes. So people would have to run up towards you to throw you, maybe dash in to throw you. Where if they're right on top of you here and you sidestep, you can still eat a throw from that. However, the one thing that rolling doesn't have that the sidestep has is the counterattack, where you sidestep with AB and then you press it again, and you get to do a little sidestep attack right there to blow someone up potentially trying to throw you. And the cool thing about that is that that's also special cancelable. Now, the reason I picked old helicopter meme Brian himself right here is because one of the things I wanted to mention that is not really exclusive to both systems. It's in both systems to a degree. One has it better, and I'll explain it right now. But in KOF, backdashing and forward dashing, it puts you in the air. So if you have command normals in the air, like Brian, his down C in the air, you can do that. You can backdash that. So if you're new, you've probably seen in some matches Iori players backdashing and like their leg is out. That's what we call a taco, and basically that's his command normal. They're backdashing with his command normal to create more of a distance between them and their opponent. So yeah, that's the thing. Dashes put you in the air. But not only can you do command normals, you can also do special moves. Now, the reason I mentioned it in this mode and not advanced mode is because since dashing forward also puts you in the air, that means things like this are capable. Now it's time to talk about the extra mode meter system and how different it is from advanced mode. So in extra, as you can see on the screen, you have a very small bar. It's not as big as the one in advanced, and you also don't have numerous stocks. So essentially you have 1 bar of meter per round. However, this bar, you can charge it on your own by pressing A, B, and C. Charging it up like that gives you access to a level 1 DM like I've mentioned before. However, there's one unique and cool function for extra mode, and that is the quick max activation. Quick max activation allows you to activate max mode during your normals or special moves to allow for combos that can't normally be done out of these conditions. The extension works from the quick max, reducing the recovery frames from a normal or a special move or even a jump to create a beautiful conclusion. Using old Lucky, I'm going to show off 2 examples utilizing both the normal quick max activation and the special move quick max activation. And now utilizing a special move. Here are some more examples showing off the capabilities of max mode through normals and through special moves. even from a deep end whiff punish. Another cool trick with max mode is the offensive counter from the sidestep attack. It more or less gives you an extra hit at the cost of a little max mode meter just to secure the bag. The possibilities and capabilities of extra mode's quick max function is still seemingly endless, as there's going to be new players trying out the game, trying it out, figuring out possibly new combo routes. I feel like even after all these years of Final Edition being around and being available, I still feel like there's a lot of characters that there's some combos we haven't seen yet. And I'm hoping that this new rollback update for the Steam version of the game will balloon that. It will shed a light on just some of the creative things you can do with this mode, and to see people come out and test it out with a lot of characters in this game. Because I will say for sure that one of the things I prefer about this version of the game over the vanilla King of Fighters 98 is that it seems like a lot more characters are more fun to use. Almost everyone feels good, and even though there is top tiers, there's always going to be top tiers in games, you feel like everyone's a little more fun to play in this game, and you can do a little bit more. And with the two modes here, Advanced and Extra, the possibilities are endless, like I said. So you can always use one of those. Like I said, Advanced mode is still the tried and true. It's still good. Extra mode does allow for a little bit more creativity, but at the end of the day, honestly, if there's things you like about extra mode that you don't necessarily like about advanced, and vice versa, you can always mix and match the two right here with the ultimate mode. You can always mix and match and either have a dash or instead of the run, or if you want to have the roll instead of the sidestep. So this game is like, it allows you to be really creative, and I think it's something that a lot of new players will heavily enjoy. As far as veterans like myself, I think we'll be able to sink our teeth into this game, with the current rollback update coming. And I'm so hyped, man. I cannot wait for this. Should be here in approximately 3 hours, actually, because it is late night on a Tuesday, and I am winging it here, and we are doing this. Just wanted to wrap up here and say thanks again for watching this video. I hope it helped. I hope it was able to answer some questions. I know things might have seemed a little unprepared, and that's because it was. I literally thought about making this video while I was at work today with little to no prep time. So sorry for the sloppy presentation. I'm also still trying to get used to this YouTube stuff and jot all my ideas out. And, hopefully in the future, things will be a bit more professional. And if you like this video, I'd like to ask you to sub to the channel if you can, share it out. I will be retweeting this on Twitter, so if you can just spread the word, especially for the new players, anything to help them get more acclimated towards the game. And I'll have all my socials in the description below. So guys, thanks again. I'll be seeing y'all tomorrow once that rollback netcode is fully in and ready to go, and we'll be playing some KOF FE. So take care, and you guys have a great night.